So I just got home from my first full day at work using my new Carets Determination Safety boot. Just want to give my initial thoughts of what it felt like to break these shoes in. Overall, I would say that these are the most comfortable boots I've probably ever worn, especially day one breaking them in. For context, I'm an engineer. I work for a plastics manufacturer. My typical 9-hour workday, I'm on my feet on the production floor 5-6 hours a day. I might spend 2 or 3 hours in my office at my desk. Most of the other time I'm on my feet walking around the production facility. It is a production facility, so I'm walking around a level, clean concrete floor. I'm not walking up and down ladders all day long. I'm not walking through a construction site, up and down hills, none of that. It's a pretty easy type of environment to be on your feet on. These are definitely more comfortable. I'm replacing a pair of Keens in my next review video. I'll probably do one at the end of this week, just my thoughts of a full 5-day work week. I'll show you the Keens that I'm replacing. Day one, these are more comfortable than the Keens that I've had for the last 7 or 8 months. I do want to talk about a couple of issues that I felt today. I'm hoping these are just some initial problems just breaking the shoe in. Number one, I feel like there is a lot of space in my heel. So when I go to walk, that motion right there, my heel is coming up off the sole of the shoe. Now, I did not feel any discomfort from rubbing, but I can feel the back of my heel rubbing in the shoe. Now, you might say, well, just tie your shoe tighter. I tried that. The one issue I had tying tighter, as I tied tighter, this might be difficult to see, but as I tie tighter, I get a lot of pressure right here on the top of my shoe, or I'm sorry, the top of my foot, which made that pretty uncomfortable. So I'm going with a somewhat loose, but not super loose tie. You can see I can fit my hand down in here. But the drawback, or one of the issues I have with when my heel raises up like that, if I want to say if there's any pain or discomfort from wearing these shoes all day, the majority of it is right here across the top of my shoe. That motion there, my heel, it comes up off the foot, off the bottom of the foot, and the top of my foot is hitting right here under the tongue, like right under that 90. I'm hoping as I wear the shoe and break the leather in, that the leather conforms to my foot. I fully expect that to happen. I've worn leather shoes in the past. Leather shoes are the harder shoe to break in, but once you do break them in, I found that leather shoes are the most comfortable. They do tend to form fit to your foot. Some other drawbacks to these shoes, and when I say drawbacks, this is a design limitation that I know Caret is restricted to. There is not a massive market right now for barefoot safety shoes. Essentially, there are 2 companies in the world that are making barefoot safety shoes, Caret and Birkenstock. You got the Birkenstock QS 700s, and then you have the Carets Determination shoe. So when they are making shoes, they want to be able to cover a wide umbrella of customers that are going to look for this kind of shoe. So the one thing they're going to want to do is they're going to want to cover all of the possible safety requirements. So you need steel toe cap, you need to have puncture proof, slip resistance. I don't remember if these are electrical or not, but you got all of these safety requirements that they want to be able to capture all of that. At my facility, under my company, all I need is a steel cap. we can literally get people, sometimes we'll get temp employees off the floor, they're off the street, they come in their first night, they're wearing tennis shoes. We have slip-on steel-toe caps that they can wear, and they're good to go. So if Caret ever came out with a boot or a safety shoe that is barefoot with just a steel toe, I would buy it. But there's not enough market for Caret to justify doing that. So they want to make one boot that covers everyone that needs a safety shoe. With that said, I personally want a sole that feels like a barefoot sole. A sole that naturally bends and twists with your foot. This does not do that. You do get some. It is it's definitely more flexible than any other boot I've worn. I have worn safety shoes that are more flexible than these. I've not worn safety boots that are more flexible than these. So you do get some good flexibility in these boots, but it's still pretty stiff. The other issue I have in this is this lip, mainly in the heel. I feel like because that is so large that when I step, my heel is not coming down in the natural spot. What that's making me do is it's kind of making me walk a little bit more flat-footed, which may not be terrible. But if I go to walk and I go to step, land on my heel, I'm not landing on my heel, I'm landing on that. One of the other things I mentioned is the bottom tread of the sole of these shoes. It's probably going to collect dust and debris. Again, I work in a generally clean environment. Like I said, I work in plastics, so I'm going to collect plastic resin in there. But you can see these things are a trap for debris. This is just one day of wearing it. That's kind of gross. There's a bug in my shoe, in the tread in my shoe. The other thing I'm going to be interested to see over time what happens. It looks like what Caret does is the manufacturer does, they have rubber sheets and they cut the grooves into the rubber sheets. They probably use a massive sheet, I'm guessing here, and then they take that sheet and they shape the sole of the foot. What that leaves you with is a bunch of these little bits that are like halfway there. I imagine after a few days and weeks of wearing, the edge of this is going to wear completely off. And then I'm curious, as that one wears off, what is that one going to do? And what is that one going to do? Are those going to continue to wear down toward the edge? I hope it doesn't. It does feel like very durable rubber, but you can already see one day of use, I'm wearing these down. You can already see where I'm stepping, like I just said. As I'm landing on that, this is just one day of use, and I'm already wearing that in. So it will be interesting to see how the bottom sole of this. I'm not a shoe designer. I just don't think the deep grooves in these soles is necessary. I think they went a little too drastic with that. I also think they went a little too drastic with the size of this. I don't know if that's stylistic or if that's functional. Why that lip is so large. I wish they would shave that down, and that would help you give a more natural feel to the bottom of the foot. It would probably take some weight out of the shoe. Overall, my biggest complaints with non-barefoot shoes, this has solved every single one of them, just about. I've been in manufacturing for 11 years. I probably go through a pair of shoes a year. In my 11 years of being in manufacturing, never one time have I ever rebought a pair of shoes. Every time it's time for me to replace my shoes, I'm like, I want something better, so I look for something different. I've never worn a pair of shoes where I'm like, I want this shoe again. I hope this becomes that. Day one test, I think this will be. The pressure that I feel on my toes, the weight balance that I feel on my feet, this feels phenomenal. Build quality seems great, other than some of the issues with the sole that I just mentioned. Build quality of the leather, the stitching, it's amazing. So it did far better than I anticipated it doing. Not that I doubted the style or the build of the shoe, but it's a leather boot. Leather boots can be tough to break in. Day one, my feet do not hurt. Little bit of discomfort on the very top of my foot from where that's bending in. Hopefully by the end of the week that wears out, and this starts to conform to the natural shape of my foot. I'll probably do another review video at the end of this week just to let you know my thoughts of one full work week with these shoes. And then hopefully down the road, as these shoes wear in, I'll give a couple more review videos on them. So far, definitely highly recommend these Carets Determination work boots.